Hello everyone. You are on the channel Who Created It and How. When you hear the word empire, what comes to mind? Maybe the mighty Roman legions marching in unison, or perhaps the grand pyramids of the Egyptian pharaohs. For centuries, these powerful civilizations have dominated our history books and captured our imaginations. But what if I told you that the very first empire wasn't built by Romans, Egyptians, or even Greeks? The true story of the world's first empire takes us back even further, to the sun-scorched lands of ancient Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Let's journey back over 4,300 years, to a time when city-states dotted the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. This region, in modern-day Iraq, was a patchwork of independent, often warring cities like Ur, Uruk, and Lagash. They had their own kings, their own gods, and their own armies. For a long time, this was just the way things were. A city might conquer its neighbor for a short period, but no one had managed to unite the entire region under a single permanent rule. That is until one man changed everything. His name was Sargon of Akkad. The story of Sargon is the stuff of legends, quite literally. According to the tale, he was born in secret and cast adrift in a basket on the Euphrates River, a story that might sound familiar if you know the tale of Moses. He was supposedly found and raised by a gardener, a humble beginning for a man who would one day rule the known world. As a young man, he served as a cupbearer to the king of Kish, one of the most powerful city-states at the time. But Sargon was destined for more than just pouring wine. Through a series of events that are a mix of history and myth, Sargon seized the throne of Kish and began his ambitious campaign of conquest. Unlike previous rulers who were content with temporary dominance, Sargon had a revolutionary vision. He didn't just want to defeat his rivals, he wanted to unite them. He created a new kind of army, a professional standing army that was loyal to him personally, not to a particular city. Armed with powerful composite bows and organized in tight phalanx formations, his soldiers marched across Mesopotamia. One by one, the Sumerian city-states fell before him. He conquered Uruk, the legendary city of Gilgamesh, and washed his weapons in the waters of the Persian Gulf to symbolize the extent of his victory. But Sargon didn't stop there. He pushed the boundaries of his new kingdom further than anyone had before. His empire, known as the Akkadian Empire, stretched from modern-day Iran all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, in modern-day Syria and Turkey. For the first time in history, a vast multicultural territory with different languages and traditions was brought under the control of a single ruler. Sargon had created the world's first true empire. So how did he manage it? Conquering is one thing, but governing is another challenge entirely. Sargon was not just a brilliant general, he was also a genius administrator. He understood that to hold his diverse empire together, he needed more than just military might. He implemented several groundbreaking strategies that would become the blueprint for future empires. First, he standardized things. He introduced standardized weights and measures, which made trade across his vast empire much easier and more efficient. Imagine trying to do business when every city has a different idea of what a pound or a foot is. Sargon fixed that. He also created a standardized system of taxation, ensuring a steady flow of resources from the conquered territories back to the heart of the empire. Second, he was clever about governance. Instead of wiping out the local leadership of the cities he conquered, he often installed his own trusted men as governors. These officials were Akkadians, loyal to him, ensuring that his policies were enforced throughout the empire. He placed his most trusted Akkadian citizens in key positions of power in every corner of his realm, creating a loyal ruling class that owed its position directly to him. Third, and perhaps most ingeniously, he used language and culture to unify his people. While the people he conquered spoke Sumerian, Sargon made his own language, Akkadian, the official language of administration. This Semitic language became the lingua franca of the ancient Near East for centuries, a bit like English is today. All official documents, royal inscriptions, and communications were written in Akkadian, creating a common administrative bond across the empire. He also cleverly merged the gods of the Akkadians with the gods of the conquered Sumerians. Instead of forcing his own religion on people, which often leads to rebellion, he syncretized them. He identified his gods with their Sumerian counterparts, creating a shared pantheon that everyone could worship. For example, the Akkadian goddess Ishtar was merged with the Sumerian goddess Inanna. His own daughter, Enheduanna, was appointed as the high priestess of the moon god Nanna in the important Sumerian city of Ur. This was a brilliant political move. It not only gave him religious authority, but also placed a loyal family member in a position of immense influence. By the way, Enheduanna is also considered the world's first known author, a remarkable figure in her own right. Sargon's new capital city, Akkad, became the heart of this massive empire. Its exact location is still one of the great mysteries of archaeology, but we know from texts that it was a magnificent, wealthy city, the center of this new world order. From Akkad, Sargon and his successors ruled for over a century. The Akkadian Empire became a model for all who followed. The Babylonians, the Assyrians, and even the Persians would later adopt and refine many of Sargon's methods of imperial control. He literally wrote the playbook on how to build and maintain an empire. However, like all great empires, the Akkadian Empire eventually crumbled. After the reigns of Sargon and his powerful grandson Naram-Sin, the empire began to face problems. Constant rebellions from the conquered Sumerian cities, combined with invasions from peoples in the surrounding mountains, weakened its foundations. A major, prolonged drought may have also played a crucial role, causing widespread famine and social collapse. Within about 150 years of its founding, the world's first empire faded back into the dust of history, and the region once again fragmented into smaller city-states. But the legacy of Sargon of Akkad endured. He had proven that it was possible to unite diverse peoples under a single rule. He created the very concept of empire, an idea that would be copied, expanded, and fought over for the next 4,000 years. From the Romans to the British, every empire that followed owes a small debt to this legendary king from ancient Mesopotamia. He wasn't just a conqueror. He was a visionary, an innovator, and the architect of a new political order. So the next time you think of empires, don't just picture Roman centurions or Egyptian pharaohs. Remember the true pioneer, Sargon of Akkad, the man who rose from obscurity to become the king of the world, and who, over 4,300 years ago, created the very first empire in human history. He showed the world what was possible, setting the stage for the rise and fall of countless empires to come. Thanks for watching our journey into the past on Who Created It and How. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the origins of our world. Let us know in the comments which historical first you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next video.